On my daughter's 6th birthday, my parents showed up empty-handed. They said they forgot. But 1 week later, my sister's daughter was posting photos with a brand new iPhone 16 Max. So I decided to forget too. I forgot to send the promised $15,000 for my parents' kitchen renovation. After that, I got 20 missed calls in 2 days. My name is Sarah. I'm 32, married to Mark for 8 years. We live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a dental hygienist. Mark works in logistics. We're comfortable. We have one daughter, Lily. She's the kind of kid who names her stuffed animals and saves her allowance to buy birdseed. Picture this. Lily's birthday party. Balloons, cake, the works. My parents, Robert and Linda, show up 30 minutes late. My mom hugs Lily, says happy birthday, sweetie, and my dad pats her head. No gift, no card, nothing. Did I say something? No. I bit my tongue. That's what daughters like me do. We keep the peace. My sister Jessica was there with her 2 kids, 14-year-old Chloe and 10-year-old Leo. Jessica brought Lily a huge art set. Lily loved it. But when my parents left with empty hands, Jessica looked at me. I just shook my head. Not now. Later, Mark asked, "They really didn't bring anything?" "They forgot," I said. Mark gave me that look, the one that says, "They didn't forget." Here's the thing. My parents have always been uneven. Not monsters, just uneven. Jessica's kids? My mom has them over every weekend. She posts photos called Grandma's favorites. Lily? She's been to their house 4 times in her life. I told myself it was because Jessica lives closer. But then I saw the photo albums, pages of Chloe and Leo, one blurry picture of Lily wedged in the back. You ever notice something that breaks your heart, but you convince yourself you're overreacting? That was my life. 1 week passes. No makeup gift, no call. Then, day 8. I'm scrolling Facebook. There's a photo from my mom. Chloe holding a brand new iPhone 16 Max. Caption: "Only the best for our girl." I stared at that photo. Mark found me sitting on the bathroom floor. I turned the screen toward him. He read it and said, "That's enough, Sarah." Something shifted. 5 years of swallowed hurt evaporated. If they can forget my daughter, I can forget them too. The next morning, the doorbell rings at 8 a.m. My dad stands on the porch in his fishing jacket. My mom sits in the car, engine running, sunglasses on like a getaway driver. "We need to talk," my dad said. He walked into my kitchen looking at Lily's pancakes like they offended him. "Your mother is very upset." "About what?" "About the money, Sarah." "What do you think?" "Oh, right. The money I forgot about." "You didn't forget." "I did, Dad. Just like you forgot Lily's birthday." He paused. Then he said, "That's different. Different. Forgetting a child's birthday is different from forgetting kitchen money? In what universe?" "We've been busy with the renovation," he said. "Busy enough to buy Chloe an iPhone 16 Max?" He went quiet. Then he leaned forward. "Sarah, you and Mark are doing fine. Jessica is on her own. We have to help where help is needed." I almost laughed, because I married well and my sister didn't. "My child deserves less love." Mark walked in. "Morning, Robert. Coffee?" My dad snapped. "Mark, talk some sense into her." Mark poured his coffee. "I think she's making plenty of sense." My dad stood up. "This is ridiculous. We asked for help months ago. Now you're punishing us over a birthday present?" "No, Dad. I'm not punishing you. I forgot. I'll make it up to you." He slammed the door. They sat in their car for 5 minutes arguing before driving away. I felt sick. Standing up for yourself feels wrong when you've never done it before. That afternoon, Jessica texted, "Mom says you're withholding money." "What's happening?" I called her and told her everything. The birthday, the phone, the confrontation. She listened. Then she said, "I didn't know they didn't get Lily anything. Mom told me she was getting Chloe a phone case. I didn't know it was a new iPhone. Jessica has always been the buffer. She asked, "What are you going to do?" "I'm not sending the money." "Okay, they're going to make this about you." "They already are." Then came the text from my mom. "Since you've gone back on your word, we're using our savings for a vacation. We're taking Jessica and the kids to the Outer Banks. Maybe when we get back, we can discuss things like adults." Read that again. They claimed they needed my $15,000 for the kitchen. But they had enough for a beach vacation for 6 people. Everyone, except me, Mark, and Lily. I texted back one word: enjoy. But they didn't count on Jessica. 30 minutes later, she called. "Sarah, I'm not going." "Jessica, don't." "No, I'm not going on a vacation designed to punish you. I'm not letting my kids be props," I cried. Sometimes the kindness breaks you more than the cruelty. But here's the twist. While Jessica was fighting my war, something was happening at her house. Chloe, 14-year-old Chloe, had been listening. She heard the calls. She put it together. That night, Chloe told Jessica, "I don't want the phone." Jessica blinked. "What?" "I don't want it." "Not if they gave it to me instead of Lily. That's not fair. My old phone works." 14 years old. More moral clarity than 2 adults in their 60s. Jessica called me the next day. "Chloe wants to sell the phone, split the money, let all 3 kids pick something they want." I was speechless. "She really wants to do this?" She looked up the resale value. She's thorough. So here's what happened. They sold the iPhone for $800, split 3 ways, 260 stocks each. Jessica brought the kids over. Chloe showed Lily a list she'd made of things Lily might want. She'd done research. Lily looked at the list and said, "Can I get the camera and share it with you?" Chloe smiled. "Yeah, Lily, we can share it." Leo bought a Lego set. Chloe put her money in savings. Now, what about my parents? They went to the Outer Banks anyway, just the 2 of them. No grandkids, no Jessica. When they came back, my mom called. "Jessica, did we mess this up that badly?" Jessica said, "Yes, Mom, you did." My mom cried, the scared kind. She admitted they'd turned helping Jessica into loving her more without realizing it. A week later, my dad showed up at my house. 10 a.m. He rang the doorbell. He held out a small gift bag. Inside was a charm bracelet, a tiny unicorn, a paintbrush, and a letter L. "I know it's late," he said. "I'm not good at this." "No, you're not. We didn't mean for it to be like this." "But it was, Dad. I know, I want to fix it. That was enough. Not because it erased everything, but because my dad, who never admits he's wrong, stood on my porch and said he wanted to fix it." Lily ran out and jumped on him. He held her for a long time. Over her head, he mouthed, "I'm sorry. Things aren't perfect, but my mom invites Lily over for special time twice a month." My dad bought Lily a fishing rod. The kitchen renovation? They did it themselves. The backsplash is crooked, but full of character. The $15,000? We kept it. Put it in Lily's college fund. Jessica and I are closer than ever. Chloe still checks in on Lily with this protective tenderness that makes me believe the next generation might be better than ours. I asked Chloe if she regretted giving up the iPhone. She shrugged. "It was just a phone. Lily's my cousin. Simple as that." I started this angry, deeply angry. And I'm not going to pretend the anger vanished. It comes back in waves. But the good stuff is getting bigger. The fishing rod, the bracelet, Lily shrieking, "Grandpa," loud enough to scare the neighbors. Family is messy. It's uneven. But sometimes, people can learn. They can show up late with a crooked gift and red eyes and 2 words that change everything. I'm sorry. If this hit close to home, if you've ever felt like the overlooked one, I see you. Standing up for yourself doesn't make you the bad guy. If you liked this story, leave a like. And tell me in the comments what you would have done. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves and take care of your lilies.